Now that is, by the way, where politics meets parody. And right now we are on to the newspaper review. I mentioned earlier that this is going to be a review of the state of our nation that is going to be short and sweet. And joining me is Ojuang Mariam, senior hey, just say your name.
Senior Warrant Officer 1, Amaluteni Kanali.
Thank you so much for making time for us this morning.
I'm grateful for being here.
So good to have you on board this morning.
Asante. Tuambie Wakenya ukweli.
Tuambie Wakenya ukweli. Now, just before tuambie Wakenya ukweli, do you know that the government is threatening to shut KTN?
As they are doing that, wakona deni yao ya 1.2 billion advertisement arrears that they have not paid. This is a threat to freedom of expression, a threat to... There is no need of having a Ministry of Information. If you can be doing this to Kenyans, you close that media house, you are shutting Kenyans from getting to know what's happening in the country. It's a way to ensure wana control narrative, wana kunyima wawe voice ya kuongea. Na ujue saa hiyo unanyima voice ya kuongea, tayari you don't have the voice. That is why the journalists hao wenye wako hapo Standard wanakusaidia, wanakuongelelea. But the best the government can do is threaten to close.
And it's not just about threatening, it's also about how many jobs are going to be lost. We're already having a deficit when it comes to employment opportunities in this country, and now shutting. Let's not even talk about okay, let's not talk about it. It's also a threat to the job employment opportunities in the country, because right now if you go to a media interview, you'll get so many journalists from KTN going to other stations for interview. So
inaonyesha kuna shida.
Yeah, there is a problem.
There is a problem that we need to address. As a country. We come together, we ask ourselves questions, and we be bold enough to offer answers that are solutions.
Uncomfortable questions,
yes.
Not just questions. Now, I think we should, it's a controversy here, whether we should begin with General's last wish. That is the biggest headline on the Standard. And they're saying 1 year has passed since Kenya's foremost soldier fell from the skies and perished. The KF-1501 plane that killed General Ogola carried an abysmal history, a refurbished Vienna warbird that had experienced 2 emergency landing weeks apart. A preliminary report is out, but some aviation experts say reads more like a cover letter than an investigation. You know, if there is a failure, like this, it was like a red flag, failed landing twice, and then Ogola is given the same plan. I don't know if he just accepted, or he didn't know what was going on, or he was forced to it, or he was lied to that everything was okay. But personally, I don't think this was a genuine or a normal death. And even I remember at that time, there was so much tensions in the country. And when the son came out and said it's okay, Kenyans say that this son has been paid. And I remember it was a very heated discussion. From where you sit, Ojuang, before even we get to see the last wishes, which we are not going to read on Ogola's will, do you think this was a normal crash, or it was just something else? Because even experts saying that the investigation looks more like a cover letter than an investigation.
Sikatai, I'm not an aviation expert, but I would raise the same questions the Standard are asking on page 4. Was this tragedy an accident, or the final chapter in a silent war? So why would they think that this could be a silent war? In the year 2022, when we were having elections, the same general had been sent to bombers of Kenya to try and disrupt what this regime called peace, to steal for presidency from the current president William Ruto, and they said that from that day his goose was cooked. It was a matter of jamaa ni lini na niaje tunamuondoa mahali yako. Juu the warbird from Vietnam ilikuwa imepata shida in January 2024. Ilikuwa ime crash land. Juu iko na shida. Then sisi hapa hivi kama mbunge wenyewe anataka kwenda mashinani, anapeago the best. The best. So huyu mwenye ni CDF General Francis Ogola kuniradhi Francis Ogola mwenye amefanya training hadi majuu. He has gone even to US. Tumemwona kwa videos zake za as early as 1990s akiwa training, akiwa kwa combat na wale wazungu. Alikuwa anajua hii information yote. But kama aliingia hiyo ndege bado akijua iko na shida, then it is a silent war. Rumors ziko, na it's not rumors when tumeandika kwa gazeti that the son had been paid ndo vitu fulani asiongelele. But this son is so dear to General Francis Ogola to a point yenye kwa wili yake ameacha 50% kwa bibi, the widow, and 25 for the daughter, 25 for the son, meaning this son was dear. Mimi kama baba saizi gava ikiniambia Ojwang umeinject sana, tunataka kukumaliza, I'll call my daughter and have a talk with her so that she can know that I will be going. I'll be leaving this part of the world. Maybe he did the same to the son. Na akamwambia, my goose is cooked, so don't fight them so much. Just ensure unaweka security to your mom and your sister. Hizo zingine wachana nazo. Juu he had the right ya kuwa hapo hivyo kuinfluence the investigation so that they can have closure as a family. But they didn't do that. All they did was kuongelea chaneli na familia yetu, to mourn in peace, to relax and deal with all this. At that particular time, Kenyans told the son that this is not about your father. Your father had a duty. He was the CDF. It's our matter of concern too. Sio atuwe peke juu ni sana. Either way, he's not there. Wakati akiaga hapa hivi on newspaper review tulisema we are supposed to see or have the best of investigations from the KDF side. Tumezoea DCI kuja hapa ongelea watu kama sijui DJ Fatso wameua nani, hizo vitu zinaenda zinapotelea, ikishafika kwa government nani ule wa Mog Johansen Odua au ikifika kwao wase inakuwa imepotelea. So tulijua hii ya kijeshi itakuwa ni investigation moja kali. It has taken a whole year for Kenya Defense Forces to influence in this investigation process, only for them to give us what we would call a cover letter. Only for them kutuambia hii ndege ilikuwa na shida hapa, ilikuwa na shida pale. Hiyo wameset president. I need the KDF to know this. Wameset president ya a political class, whether it's the president or whoever it is, can do away with a KDF official or leader. Na vitu ziendelee kawaida. We set a bad precedent when we killed our security CSs ama ministers. We did that with Professor George Saitoti. We did that with Nkaiseri. We set that precedent that wewe ukiwa pale hivyo Ministry of Interior and Coordination ama security, your life is in danger. Watu wenye wangetusaidia sasa zaidi ni KDF. Juu KDF wao wanafaa kulinda katiba. Hata kazi yao kubwa si kulinda government of the day, because we the people as the sovereign ndio watu tuna decide what will be the government of the day. Sisi ndio tunawaambia nyinyi KDF, this is our government of the day, please ilindeni. Bado tunafaa tuambie sisi hatutaki hii government, tunataka ingine. Wewe ukiwa jeshi ufai kutupiga, unafaa kusupport sisi tufanye hivyo in accordance with the constitution. But wamefika mahali wamefinywa to a point wameonyeshwa we can do away with your CDF and you will do nothing. Hiyo ni bad precedent.
that is not a very common conversation in other countries, because you see in other countries, mkuu wa majeshi is someone very big that everyone in the country knows who that person is. But you know, in Kenya, very few people know the current CDF. Very few people, because it's a position that is, should we say, undermined, or it does not have that much of influence. The Kenya Defense Forces are supposed to be people's, they are very friendly. If there is a unit, a security unit that is friendly to the people, it should be the military or the Kenya Defense Forces. But, of which they are. But when it comes to defending the people in terms of ensuring that the political class is not oppressing them, that is another story. That is a myth. Let me just say it's a myth. Because it is quite unfortunate, but that's just what it is as a country. And before we get into other sub stories that are on other papers, the Daily Nation is saying, why is Kenya still in Haiti? Now, questions, 2 elite police officers are dead, while 2 others are seriously injured 10 months into the Kenyan-led multinational security mission in Haiti. Many of the countries that pledged monetary and other support for the operation to stabilize the gang-riddled Caribbean nation have since kept away, leaving President William Ruto and his government to do the heavy lifting. But with funding shortages, faulty equipment, and bickering among its financiers, it is still worth keeping our forces. Is it still worth keeping our forces in harm's way in a far off land? I heard someone say the other day that hatukatai, nyinyi ni generous sana, mnataka kusaidia. But can we even have updates of what is going on? Like briefings. Now our men are here. We have managed to capture this city. We have managed to secure this city. Can we have updates on that? Can we have updates on the security of our personnel? Because I saw a very disturbing video where a Kenyan police was laying down, and the gangs are around him. They are knocking him. You know, it's like he had already known his fate is already determined. Is normal. So they are saying that these are the Kenyan police who are coming to restore order, and anapigwa, teke and stuff. It's just lying there helplessly. So is it still worthy for us to have them in the Caribbean nation? Or how is it helping us as a nation? For us having our finances, our men, our brothers, our fathers there, how is it helping us as a nation? How are we benefiting from it? So are you all still, as a person from where you sit, do you have the same question that why is Kenya still in Haiti?
Yeah, as a Kenyan and as a youth, I'm concerned. You know, when we have peacekeeping missions, lazima zikuwe zinawa benefit nyinyi kama country. For example, a former president and the late President Kibaki, yeye alipeleka watu Somalia. By then sisi kama Kenya tulikuwa tunapitia bombings, kila time tunakaa tunasikia sijui Al-Shabaab wamefanya nini Garissa University, Al-Shabaab wameingia Nairobi, Al-Shabaab waweki watu na amani in Pwani huko Lamu, Taita, Taveta huko kote, and we had to do something as a country. Tuingia hiyo Somalia, we control the Al-Shabaab from hapo hivyo. But when we are taking our police officers miles overseas kama Haiti, people keep wondering, tunasaidika aje? The only way tunasaidika hapa hivi, I would say it's business. Unaangalia, why is Kenya still in Haiti? Wanapeana countries ambazo zimechanga do to this mission na ni 14.3 billion. Hizo 14.3 billion, sisi kama Kenya, a third world country, bado tumetoa 4.6 billion. 4.6 billion tunatoa za kufanya hii mission in Haiti, yenye haitusaidii sisi directly. Wale watu hakuna mahali wanatu affect sisi. Wale watu wako kwa civil war, ni vita vyao wanapigana. Sijui our government haifanyi hivi, can we do this? Wanajipata kwa vita na polisi, wanaitwa gang, vizo vitu zote juu. Inafika mahali watu wanaanza kuwa empowered. If you are constantly in war, kama saizi tunaongea kuhusu goons wa Kenya, wanapata access to tear gas, wanakuja wanakutia gas wewe, yet yeye ni mtu kama wewe. Same things are happening in Haiti. tunasaidiaje tukiwa huko, yet tukiwa hapa hivi the same police officers kazi yao maybe ni kutu abduct, hawafuati vitu zenye si tunataka, juu kazi ya polisi ni ku maintain law and order. Hii ingine ya peacekeeping ni maybe ni jeshi ufanya. Mark you, from 1993 to 2019 kumeishi kuwa na UN peacekeeping missions in Haiti. Inakuaje sisi ndio tumekuwa sasa ndo superheroes, tunaingia huko kusaidia, yet sisi wenyewe hatujajisaidia. As that is happening, wale polisi on page 4 wanalia, wanasema we are being kept in the dark and our families are being kept on the dark. Before our Kenyan police waingie Haiti, barbecue ambaye ni mkubwa wao magaidi wa huko Haiti alikuwa ametupromise atatuchinjia wase. You know, we are used to being warned, utagongewa. Sisi we were told tutawachinjia, it will be butcher. And they still went anyway. So they were prepared for this and they signed up for it. But the families are saying we need to be accountable and responsible when we are delivering data and information concerning our kins in Haiti. Waambie ukweli, so and so ameagia hapa hivi na tuna plan venye tutamrudisha, badala ya kuficha. Yet internet never forgets. Bado tunaona hawa polisi wetu wakiwa in pool of blood huko, wameuliwa vibaya sana like criminals, yet they are not criminals. Wameenda pale juu ya umaskini. Juu kuongea ukweli, mimi ningekuwa polisi saa hii, there is no reason I would leave my country to go and keep peace in a mission in Haiti, yet kwangu sijamaliza kusaidia. Unaona? So kama ni umaskini ndio inatupelekea watu huko, then tufikirie other ways zenye tunaweza tengeneza pesa basi as a country, ndio tuache kujipata place tunabebwa ufala. Juu tunabebwa ufala. We have a president who is used to kukua tuseme mpole. I would say ni from Mali ametoka. With Uhuru Kenyatta, former president, ama the fourth president of Kenya, hata wakisalimiana na Trump, you could feel this is president to president. But president wa saa hii akitokea huko nje, utafeel like a young boy. Unaona venye MP usalimia president, amejituliza nini hivyo ndivyo tuko. Na sasa wasee wakiona sisi tuko hivyo, tunaanza kubebwa ufala. Biden akatupea 14 billion tuweze kuregularize na kufight for rights za LGBTQ family in our country. Yet sisi bado tunasemaga sisi hizo vitu hazituhusu. We are not concerned with LGBTQ issues. We have other issues that concern us. Unatupea 14 billion ndo tufanye hivyo. Unatupea tena 14 billion ndo tuweze kubadilisha polisi wetu, badala wa maintain law and order waende Haiti. And then saizi tunauliza queries on security mission. Juu hawa wase wa Haiti, what if wa decide okay, juu polisi wa Kenya wanatusumbua, twendeni Kenya tuanze kuretaliate from huko, to give pressure, to apply pressure on Kenyan government to recall their officers. The opposition has called on government to recall our officers back to our country, but it has been music being sung to goats. Hakuna mtu anataka kusikia huo wimbo.
No one is listening. It's unfortunate. Now that is just on. I'm always trying this on every morning, because they say beautiful day begins in the morning, or is seen in the morning. I don't know, whatever they say. I always try every morning to find something positive to look at when it comes to discussions about our nation. But very rarely do I get such informations, because if I see other headlines of the Daily Nation revealed how goons are getting tear gas canisters from rogue police, death on two wheels, border killing more people than cars in road crashes. And the sad thing is that there is little to no supervision on the credibility of these motorists on roads. Sometimes you are driving and then a motorist anakupita hadi unashtuka. You're like, hey, okay. Shida ni gani?
That tunasema bado there is no hurry in Africa.
Yeah, but so it's still looking at the headlines. Jail for 81 million scam, my identity was hidden. That is a story on the Daily Nation on page 3. If you keep on moving, looking at the dailies, sometimes I always say that the dailies of our nation can depress you as a person, because still on the standard body of a girl burned to be exhumed, back on brink of champs-ling. There is I think it's on Business Daily, if not the Star, where there's a scandal of organs being sold,
Kidneys.
yeah. So it's a whole combination of sad news that sometimes you're afraid of reading the newspaper. So because our time is up, Ojwang, I'll just have you give us your final remarks as we conclude this. So if there's any story that I've mentioned and you're keen on looking at it, you can always get the dailies and read more on that.
Kenyans, tunafaa kuchange sisi kama country. It's true, ukisoma haya magazeti unaweza ingia hadi depression. It's on record, the former president Uhuru Kenyatta akisema yeye asomagi gazeti, anajua gazeti ni za kufunga nyama. It's on record, the current CJ, Chief Justice Martha Koome, akisema yeye hata news hawachigi. It's because of all these things that are happening. For example, wewe kama polisi unabeba tear gas canister 10, unaenda ukanyeshea watu nazo kwa maandamano. It's peaceful protests. Unaenda unarusha 2, unabaki na ngapi? 8. Unafika huko kwako polisi unapeana 2. Hizo zingine 5 zinaenda wapi? Unapea goons. Imagine unaamka leo ukisema vile unataka kutokea, you do protest, ndio vitu fulani ziangaliwe, you get to have a chance to voice your issues, and then mwenzako akona tear gas hapo hivyo. Nyinyi mmezoea huo polisi tear gas, mwenzako akona tear gas. Hizo tear gas wanapewa waende church wakadisrupt peace. Yet it's still our government that is doing that. Lawlessness yenye iko hapa hivi, lawlessness yenye iko hapa hivi inaletwa, basi nitumie hiyo, inaletwa na polisi wenye wanafaa ku maintain law and order. Unashika? Kwa nini? Ndio kwa polisi saizi wanasema all you have to do ni ujue kukimbia. We are not even concerned. Unajua kitambo ilikuwa at least ukue na ndio uingie polisi. Squeeze as long as you know someone na unajua kukimbia, kiganjo na unaingia unapewa gun. Unajua pale kwa G4S na hao masoja, at least hapo hivyo unaambia go form 4 certificate ikuwe fiti ndio upewe rungu. Hapo hivyo unaambia tu unajua kukimbia ndio upewe gun. To maintain law and order. Hao ndio watu wanakuja wanapewa tear gas wakuja wanyeshe wale wengine. Sisi kama nchi bado tumenyamaza. I'd call upon all of us to be vigilant. Be your brother's keeper. Hakuna vile unaweza tokea maandamano na tear gas na nikose kukuambia. Mimi hata nitakuchachishia. So if we do that, all of us, then we'll be living in a better place. Si scouts ndo walisema fagia kwako ni fagia kwangu, and the whole world will be clean. Nimalizia hapo. Nashukuru sana.
Thank you so much, Ojwang. Ojwang's call today has been on accountability, especially from our leaders and those who are supposed to protect us as a people, that you need to do what you are called to do. That is Biashara Tuesday. Thank you so much for making time for us this morning. Until next week, see you.